World of Warcraft is a verse that actually can hang with the best of the best. I mean, Marvel, DC, Transformers, Godzilla. Yeah, these guys can actually hang. So, how powerful is the verse? How powerful are their higher ups? How powerful are these villains? So, in all honesty, this is actually going to serve like a scaling point for some of the other characters, including like the likes of Illidan, Lich King, and even though Deathwing is going to get his own video, you guys can kind of see where this is going. So, without further ado, let's really see how strong these characters are. This is your favorite Dinobot, and I'm here with the information, the facts, the lore, the gore, and the love. So let's begin here. We actually are going to start off with the end-all be-all scaling this time, and that's actually high outer. So let's talk about this, right? This comes from the Corruptor. The Corruptor is able to create the creator is pretty much, Yogg Sauron, but the Corruptor is actually like above the rest of these old gods and pretty much is an old god himself. So this guy was able to create a dimension, and I'm going to let this video explain it.
Sleeping city, the dreaming city, as something that keeps us safe. That is the threat that we face in Visions of N'Zoth. Ny'alotha, the sleeping city, the dreaming city, as some have called it, is the domain of the Black Empire. It is this alternate world inhabited by the old gods and their minions. And it's not a distant location for us to travel to via a starship or a portal. It's in fact all around us, on the other side of this thin veil. And what N'Zoth is doing is tearing that veil down, bringing horrible nightmares and dark visions of a future in which the forces of the old god are ascendant into our world.
Now, we all know that these characters come from infinite universes. These universes are infinite in power, infinite in just about everything. And he pretty much explained it here that this guy pretty much resides in a dimension pretty much beyond that dimension. So in all honesty, it's not really hard to see how powerful and how strong these characters actually are. I mean, it's really not, it's not hard. These guys are able to be threats to the infinite universes or the infinite multiverse, an ever-growing multiverse. Like, the multiverse just continually keeps on growing and keeps on going. Now, on the lower end, and this is from normal humans, by the way, we actually can get large country, from island level to large country. This is from Gul'dan, who's been able to help raise the islands with his fellow orcs. And they would also scale to the humans, who could tear open the heavens and cause Neptune level tidal waves, or Neptune's tidal wave. If that's what it says, I'm not think so. Yep, that's exactly what it says. Never mind. So yeah, it actually says Neptune's tidal wave. So this was actually able to pretty much destroy entire kingdoms. Kingdoms in World of Warcraft can count as countries, and especially later like large countries as well. So being able to do this and being able to destroy entire countries with simple magical spells here is absolutely no joke here. Like, these guys casually do this, and they're normal humans, regular elves, dwarves, and etc. And here's another thing you guys may also find interesting, is that these dwarves and regular humans can also create pocket dimensions. Yeah, this is getting pretty good. But let's go into another scaling point, and that would be Sargus. Sargus is easily able to just, well, like this picture shows, destroy planets. But let's get into that good stuff, what I've been saying almost every Illidan video. Sargus was able to kill his entire pantheon single-handedly. The pantheon was pretty much able to fight against void gods and the old gods consistently, including the likes of Yogg Sauron, who was the creator of the World of Warcraft multiverse. Yeah, so yeah, that's a big deal. Now let's get into another point. Sargus was also confirmed to be able to destroy the entire World of Warcraft reality, or basically Azeroth itself. Now, Azeroth can actually be seen as a multiverse, considering the fact that characters can actually create and even utilize and keep pocket dimensions within that universe. Meaning that, Sargus was able to not only destroy the Azeroth reality, as we're going to call it, but he was also able to dismantle and destroy these pocket dimensions pretty easily. So this pretty much puts him at a multiversal caliber, meaning that he's, well, I think you guys can get it, is a multiversal character. Now this will go for Illidan scaling and actually makes the Lich King more powerful. Jeez, now I feel like, excuse me, now I feel like MCU Thanos versus Illidan was actually, versus Lich King was actually a spite. That's not fair. But let's go into the higher entities. The dragon aspects, which were stronger than the old gods. And this is because of Deathwing here. So consider this like a miniature scaling. Deathwing was able to beat the main antagonist. Like, this dude had anti-plot armor, okay? So Deathwing was able to beat the hero, right? The hero or the antagonist, the main character, right? And this was after the main character or the hero had beaten Yogg Saron. You see what I mean? Now, these dragon aspects actually scale to him due to the fact that he's the most powerful. Even the dragon queen, Alexstrasza, who, again, this may serve as a scaling video, I think we all get it here, was exhausted from a 1v1 matchup, and she couldn't even beat him. She expended all of her magic, and she was pretty much, she almost died. Yeah, so, yeah, there was no stopping Deathwing at that point. If the Dragon Queen couldn't stop him, then nobody was, in all honesty. And this is like incredibly, this is incredibly impressive because the sheer fact that Deathwing is able to beat someone who beat technically beat the old gods themselves, you know? I mean, yeah, sure, you could say, oh, well, how do we know that the old gods were that powerful? Well, there's the lore behind the old gods, so you have that and several other, continuities that pretty much point these gods to being immensely powerful. So I don't think there's any other way to show that these guys are more powerful than the sheer fact that every source kind of points to the same thing, pretty much points to the same thing, that the old gods were just extremely overpowered to the point where they were able to destroy the infinite multiverse. And this means the aspects or the dragon aspects were above them simply because they were able to defeat the beings that were able to defeat these old gods, even being able to kill them to the point where they weren't going to come back. And the crazy thing is, they beat Deathwing via an artifact. I had to say an artifact. What's the word? Basically, they had to get another artifact from a different timeline in order to beat him. So again, this would scale to other characters. This was scaled to Garlic Lord, who should be above that, or if above maybe a younger Deathwing, or basically a Deathwing that didn't get as powerful at the time. And you have characters like Alexstrasza, who was able to go toe-to-toe with him, and the other dragon aspects who pretty much scaled to her. I mean, they're below her, but you could still scale to a character, Just how, we can scale Thor to Hulk, or Martian Manhunter to Superman, because they do scale to those characters, despite the fact that you can see them or pretty much state that, oh yeah, they're just weaker than those characters. Yes, understandable. But again, they do scale to those characters. So at the end of the day here, where would I actually put World of Warcraft? Well, I think for me, it's very simple. And I honestly think it's just very simple in general. They scale to Marvel and DC. They scale to Transformers. They definitely scale to Godzilla. Okay, these characters are immensely powerful, but it's an extremely underrated verse. And I think that's why it doesn't get that love and attention. And I'm glad that 2023, I was actually able to do this because this verse definitely deserves it. So be on the lookout for more World of Warcraft content. This is Legendary Grimlock. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and share with your friends. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.